Alright, so I'm back with another Marvel Select action figure review. This is by, of course, Diamond Select Toys. This is the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. Comes in our traditional Marvel Select gigantic packaging here. You can see a lot of flame effects back there, so that's very nice to see. The figure retails for $29.99. Let's see what he comes with. So if you got around to watching my Titanium Man Marvel Select figure review, I did mention that I'm just now getting around to picking up some of these Marvel Select Marvel figures, and it's just coming to my attention of how much better value we are getting with these figures nowadays. Compared to other competitors such as Hasbro Marvel Legends that have been getting more pricier and expensive and giving you less, and it's very eye-opening. So with this figure here, this is the same price as the Titanium Man, which was indeed very big chunky figure, a lot of plastic, got alternate hands and head swap. I mean, that thing was the size of a Build-A-Figure for $29.90 for the same price. And here we are getting a smaller figure, skinnier. So what can possibly compensate for the size? Well, more accessories, of course. We got the hands, we got the head, we got some effects. How about some effects? You like that, right? And then we also do get a base and a stand, but not just any base and stand. We get this super awesome flame base with flame stand, so you can have your Human Torch flying up or hovering or whatnot. This would have been a deluxe release any day of the week for Hasbro Marvel Legends. This would have been probably a $50 release if you ask me, if we're getting all this here. So we're getting so much for our money when it comes to Marvel Select. Now, the only downside with Marvel Select is that they are limited with articulation. I think that's due to licensing because of course, Hasbro having the Marvel license. I think Diamond Select is limited to a certain amount of articulation points and a specific scale, which a lot of people don't really deal with or mess with, and that is the 7 to 8 inch scale here. Not to be exact, this Human Torch, which should be kind of like a normal size human being, stands 8 inches tall. So we have 8-inch figures. It's a scale that not a lot of people like, not a lot of people collect, and that's what they're limited to. And this is probably why I never buy all the Marvel Selects. I don't really dive into it as much, and probably why a lot of other people don't either. And I'm here to say that maybe you should give it a chance. We should be giving Diamond Select a chance here because of how well done this figure is. If only they weren't limited to what they're limited to. Imagine the possibilities. We would have double jointed knees and elbows and all that, but unfortunately it is what it is. It is what it is. But for what we're getting here, it's a pretty darn nice looking figure. The sculpt and the likeness, everything about this guy right here looks awesome. I must say we have a gigantic peg hole on the back that is for, of course, the stand to attach him to. It's not very noticeable right here because, of course, it's all translucent, fiery plastic, but it is pretty massive there. But of course, that's for the base and stand. I think at the very least, Diamond Select should have included something to plug in there in case you didn't want to use it. But again, it's on the back side. Maybe a flame effect to plug in there and have some fire coming out his back would have been a perfect piece to cover that hole up. But nonetheless, it's just a minor gripe, and it doesn't really kill the figure for me. Then we got a pair of fists, as we have a pair of open hands on the figure, a left hand with a super awesome fire shooting effect from his fingers. Very well done. No issues here. Perfect color on the plastic and everything. Then we get a right hand with a fireball effect, which is another awesome sculpt. Damn, Diamond Select really do a good job with the sculpt. Look at this. No gripes here. No paint app issues here. No QC issues here at all. It's just very, very well done. Check that out. So if you want fire effects only, you got the left hand like this and the right hand like that. And then lastly, before I forget, of course, I can't forget his alternate head sculpt here. We have the Android Human Torch. So you can have the Invaders Android Human Torch or the Johnny Storm Human Torch, of course. You get two. And with that, we also do get the Android just a fiery torso piece so you could put it on the Android Human Torch, because the figure comes with the Johnny Storm Fantastic Four logo. Now with mine, I have been trying to take this thing off, and it does not want to come off, and I'm actually starting to see stress marks on the plastic, so I'm going to leave it alone. The last thing I want to do is snap it off, or snap a corner of it off, and I don't know why mine is stuck in there so badly, but it is. I'm just going to keep him as Johnny Storm. This is how I was going to display him anyway, so I'm okay with it, but hopefully that's not an issue across, all of the releases. Now here's a quick look at him with his right hand fireball alternate hand effect here. Looking super, super nice, super dope, man. I love this, and I love how the light's reflecting off this figure too. Very nice. And then here, of course, we have him with his other hand, so I just wanted to display him real quick with both of those fire effect hands for you guys there. And then here's the other alternate head sculpt on there. This one took some force to push in there. It's pretty tight fit. Alright, so the head sits on a barbell peg, so it's going to move up and down. It's going to look left and right. That means we're going to have some beautiful head tilting here. I love head tilts, so that's why I love the barbell peg. So that's cool. Then we get the arms going forward and back. So they go all the way up, they go all the way around, in and out. They go about this far. Then we get, let's get them straight up. No bicep swivel, unfortunately. You can see I have some little speck of paint on my fingers here. This is from the joints. They always paint the joints, and they will scrape off, but that's to be expected on the joints that you move around. So no bicep swivels, unfortunately. We have single jointed elbows. Again, as I stated in the Titanium Man review, Diamond Select is unfortunately limited to certain amounts of articulation, so they have to pick and choose, and they can't go beyond maybe 16 points. I don't know, both Titanium Man and both Human Torch are 16 points of articulation, so it leads me to believe that they're just limited to 16, which is a bummer, but that's just how the license goes for them. So we have single jointed elbows here, swivel at that elbow, we have a wrist swivel and a hinge, we have a diaphragm joint at the torso, goes all the way around, forward and back, and tilt and swivel. We have the legs going forward and back. We do get these hinged thighs or legs, and these always remind me of the DCUC, figures from Mattel, and I hate to compare it to that, but that's what these joints always remind me of. I'm not a fan of these joints, but it is what it is. I think this is what they're limited to, so if they could do T-jointed legs, that would be preferable, kind of like how they did on Titanium Man, rather than these hinged joints. But with this translucent plastic, this fiery effect, it's not too terrible on this guy for sure. No thigh swivel. That's one of the reasons why I dislike that joint. Then we get the swivel at the we get a hinge on the knee there, forward and back, single jointed. Then we get the swivel at the knee. Ankles are going to go forward and back on the hinge, and then we get the rocker at the ankle there. And then quickly, I got him on the base. I know I don't have it on frame, but the base and the stand work wonderful. It doesn't really matter how far right or left he's leaning. It's going to keep its balance and not tip over, so it's very, very nice. I mean, this is just a whole setup here with this. Just looks great. So you can get him in other poses, of course, flying around or flying up or whatnot, but this is just an example. And of course, our comparison is going to consist of the Marvel Legends version here. So this is the recently released retro-carded Human Torch, which compares perfectly with this figure here, since they're kind of similar somewhat. We can pretty much make up the Android Invaders Human Torch out of this guy, but he is sporting the face sculpt with the eyes, nose, and mouth. Now, just to put it into perspective here, this is a 6-inch figure, comes with an alternate set of hands and an effect that goes onto his back, and some squiggly effects as well for his arms and hands that I don't have attached at the moment, but it's currently going for $24.99 for this figure. And then the figure on the left here, the Marvel Select version, with everything that I've showed you so far, with the base and stand and all the accessories, standing 8 inches tall, and it's $29.99, so a $5 difference here between the two. And I know he's totally out of frame here, but just so I can give you an idea of how big he is, this is Titanium Man, out of frame, same price as this Human Torch, $29.99. Check out the difference in this thing. And there's a full body shot right there. And then here's a look at him next to the Marvel Legends retro carded base form, I guess, unflamed, if you will, Johnny Storm figure. Alright, and that's everything I gotta say about this Marvel Select Human Torch figure. If you are into 8-inch scale Marvel figures, then this is for you. Of course, if this is not your scale, then you're not gonna like it. It's too big. And if you have 6-inch collection, it's not going to go well with your Fantastic Four 6-inch collection here because this guy is massive. But if you have an 8-inch collection, then this is going to go well. Very, very well. It looks great. Articulation-wise, it is what it is. This is what they're forced to do. This is what they're forced to make. So they're doing the best they can with what they're allowed to do. So he is articulated, but you're not going to get him into any super dynamic poses, just pretty basic action poses, and that's about it. Where this figure shines, just like all of the other Marvel Selects, they all shine in the sculpting and painting department. Overall, the paint and sculpt is fantastic on this figure. Meanwhile, they all do suffer from some looseness and some joints, so hopefully that's something they can take care of and fix eventually, because it gets annoying sometimes, but there hasn't been anything crazy loose, so it's nothing too serious. But at this point, I'm just rambling here, so I'm going to cut the video off here, end it. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I know this figure's been out for a while, so those who own it, what do you guys think of it? Those who don't, what do you guys think of it here through this video? Also hit the like button while you're down there and subscribe if you have not done so already. As always, everyone, take care, take it easy, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.